New reports say that the Google Pixel 6 will feature a custom Google Whitechapel SoC. Oh, so it's not only Apple that gets to have a custom chip going on. Well, Apple's a big hardware company. They made a few bucks over the years, well. They sold a few phones over the years, well. So it's not quite the same thing that's going on here. This apparently is an effort, a collaboration between Google and Samsung to sort of customize something that sort of what they're already working on and a move away from Qualcomm. Now, there's some nice speculation in here. This article, by the way, Ars Technica, Ron Amadeo. Some speculation here that Google may be a little irritated by the fact that it can't push updates easily to its older devices. And having control over the SoC makes that process a little bit easier. And the reason being, this is one of those advantages that people cite on the iOS side, on the Apple side, is like, I mean, how many people are using old iPhones? It's out of control. I made a couple videos once upon a time talking about the best-selling phones on Amazon, and it's all old iPhones. So people, when they have a trusted brand and they have updates that are promised to them, it appears they have no problem buying older devices. Now, there's a ton of brand clout associated with Apple. Google doesn't quite have that on the hardware side. So I'm not saying it's going to be a one-to-one thing, but maybe they feel like getting out in front of this, starting that process of having more control over the hardware could build a culture around their brand as well. Even though we need to remember, for Apple, hardware is their number one priority. Google has an entire advertising business, which is their core business, and then this hardware is secondary, so it's going to be tough to do. The report says Google refers to this chip as the GS101, with GS potentially being short for Google Silicon. It's shared across two Google phones that are currently in development, the Pixel 6 and something like a Pixel 5a 5G. These names are out of control at this point. Documentation points to Samsung's SLSI division, which is the Exynos team, being involved. And they've been getting closer recently to Qualcomm from a performance perspective. You see some of the performance testing that's getting done. Previously, in the past, people would be upset if they got the Exynos chip on a Samsung device instead of the Qualcomm chip. But that gap has been closing a little bit. A report from Axios says the chip is designed in cooperation with Samsung and should be built on Samsung's 5 nanometer foundry lines. And it will have commonalities with the Samsung Exynos, including software components, but it will be customized to Google's specifications. So it could lead to unique features, but it also could just be a thing where it increases Google's ability and control over the hardware to the extent that when it comes to software rollouts and new features, that they're just more capable than they were in the past working with a third-party vendor like Qualcomm. So I don't know how people feel about this, but I guess Qualcomm wouldn't be too happy about it. There's a customer there. But to the consumer, if your hardware and software company is sort of more integrated, maybe your experience improves. And maybe Google's able to offer a product ever closer to Apple's promise.
Yeah.
It's possible. You were a Pixel guy.
I am.
So,
well, I was.
You're going to get this Pixel 6 or what?
I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
Vanilla Android?
That's all it takes. You get Willie Do on the platform, and then you just watch the sales roll through because...
I buy all the phones?
Well, no, people take note. They're like, what's Willie Do doing?
Okay.
And then they
yeah, that would make much more sense.
They're inspired.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to buy them all, Will.
No.
It's not how influencer marketing works, Will.
No?
No.
Okay.
No.